Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about Data Chain Foundation, as I do believe that they are actually going to be pretty big in regards to XDC. We do see XDC Data Chain Payment Gateway plugin for WordPress is ready, currently being reviewed by the compliance team. Once validated, it will be published, now focused on building new services using Globiance API. And Globiance is part of the Xinfin ecosystem. They are a pretty big name. They are banking crypto. The platform covers, exchange and trading of crypto and fiat currencies, payment solutions, and money transfers. Globiance is a player on the Xinfin ecosystem, like I said, but this is actually pretty cool because it allows you to pay with XDC, or I should say pay with DC tokens on the XDC network. Data Chain Foundation is actually built out on Ethereum at the current moment in time, so them utilizing Xinfin here provides me an insight on the fact that they will most likely transition from Ethereum over to XDC, similar to other tokens and other projects that have been transitioning from Ethereum over to Hedera and so forth. But why is Data Chain a very large player? Well, they are focused on data at the end of the day. We do see network deployment with Data Chain. You can see the entire breakdown down here. This is what we run. We do see all the industries, banking, healthcare, automotive, etc., scale, the P2P transaction protocol. And I do believe that this is actually going to be where you will see Xinfin at most likely in the future. You also do see Select Protocol, KYC, AML. You also see other ones there, Smart Layer, and then components, all of this. To me, I think that this is actually going to be pretty cool. I think that this could play a vital role in trade finance as well, because this is actually kind of focused on big data and also trying to reduce the cost and complexity of conducting audits, managing records while complying with local regulations. It's more so kind of just centered on transactional data and data at the end of the day. Just this is focused on that major industry, which I've always said data is actually going to be pretty large. This is the new oil, as they have claimed. So I think that this is pretty exciting, and this is actually a pretty big project as well. If you actually look at some of the projects over here that they already have, here are some of their clients. You see Porsche and so, and you can see the ideas on why or what they are building with some of these major names. For an example, here you have the securing the access to passengers' critical data, securing investors' access to startups' critical data, and I think that that's the only one that they have on here so far. But they are definitely focused on some pretty big use cases here. They also do talk down here about a few other ones in regards to AI algorithms, tokenization in regards to services. So this is actually pretty big. So definitely keep a close eye out on Data Chain. They are doing some pretty big things. I don't know if they have everyone labeled over here, but you can see some of the major insights on this company. You can see some of the major names behind this company as well. I'm very excited about this, and I think that this is great now that we have XDC exposure to Data Chain, and they've always been kind of exposed to it, but now they are working on building new services with Globiance. Definitely check out Globiance if you haven't already. And also over here from Dr. Martin Heisboek, I hope that I'm saying that last name right. I'm probably not, but anyways, we do see FinTech tackles the trade industry's most pressing interoperability conundrum, trade finance. And honestly, trade finance has been one main focus of mine when we do talk about XDC and Xinfin. We actually do see down here they do mention DLT at the center point of almost everything here, and a few people have been mentioning Qnt. Don't worry, we're going to get to that in a second, but we do see over here fintechs tackle the trade industry's most pressing interoperability conundrum. We presented advanced technology innovations during the 4th edition of the FinTech Committee briefing that took place in Porto on September 7th, 2022. Progress achieved was very palpable, in particular when it comes to addressing a major industry pain point, i.e. the interoperability conundrum in trade financing. And they actually do mention HSBC's global head of trade and receivables finance put it recently into perspective during an interview with the banker. He said individual organizations such as HSBC have made huge progress, as 85% of all trade transactions are initiated digitally. Where progress has been slower, is where it requires collaboration. It feels like it feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. He said interoperability is the holy grail, and it's not up to one player to help banks, insurance companies, and logistics companies collaborate. As an industry, we need to do better. And I love to see the fact that they do mention HSBC here. And the reason why is because they were just recently at the ITFA Portal conference. Does this mean that they will be working together? Xinfin and HSBC, as you guys do see down here. Here you have HSBC sitting next to Santander and Finastra at, of course, the Porto event. Does this mean that they will all be working together? Who knows exactly what's going to happen here, but it is quite interesting to see that quote being mentioned from HSBC in regards to a discussion on, Xinfin, DLT, and this is from Anja Kasserman, of course, which, always kind of connecting the dots, but it's very exciting, and I do think that DLT will play a vital role in disruption of many markets, including trade finance, and I think that when we really kind of look at XDC going forward, talking about like digitization, tokenization, and kind of centering it on trade finance is going to be the big one. And we actually do see like DLT mentioned multiple times on every single one of these breakdowns around this full-on digitized move around trade finance. But also when we actually look at interoperability itself, yeah, a lot of people have been mentioning QNT under this tweet. For example, just a tech guy and then Sun NL11 do mention it. Don't forget, QNT, interconnect trade finance problem, multiple trade finance solutions on different platforms, plus cross-trade finance transactions using any blockchain/legacy, plus make use of existing solutions/legacy. And you do see overledger down here. We trade. You also do see HSBC labeled here, Unicredit, as well as so many other names, including Santander and Deutsche Bank, which were all at Porto. And then you do see like overledger down here, the entire step function of it, or if you will, just kind of steps to it. And then over here you have this, you see like the last part as well. And then on the next slide, you do see a few other ones. You do see, overledger to all of the major, ones out there, including like the R3 Corda. And then over here you do see the enterprise benefits, MIFID2, ISDA CDM, and then industry standards around DLT. And this is actually pretty big because this is for derivatives, which we do know that that market is absolutely monstrous. And then you also do see Sun and L11 mentioning, the major one going back to May 13th. QNT bagged these 3 enormous trade and also supply chain blockchain consortiums, and it was right in front of our eyes. GSBN, Contour, TradeLens, and more leads and insights. You don't want to miss this one. A thread on QNT's or Quant's leading role in trade finance. And there's honestly so much to this. Like, it's really infinite value. And a lot of people wonder, like, all right, well, where does that put, XDC with QNT? Well, don't worry, because QNT and XDC have been, for the longest time now, most likely working together. And I do think that what solidifies that is also this announcement going back to June of 2022, where it did say overledger adds support for XDC. I think that building out that bridge in regards to trade finance from Xinfin as well as even Quant is actually pretty big, because again, having QNT bagging these major names, I've always said, like, pay attention to the big names behind trade finance, because having that connectivity layer between all of them, being able to have like that digitized tokenization, move behind this entire market is huge. But how do you connect it to all of these major players? Because again, this entire system is extremely fragmented already. So having all of these enormous, major names being a part of this, and they are all being under these completely different infrastructures, how could you have these all fully disrupted and digitized/tokenized without having something like Quant that is connecting it all? Well, guess what? You do. This is why I do think that Quant plus XDC are going to be a giant around trade finance. And we already do see some of the major breakdowns down here. We talked about Contour for a little bit of time back then. I think that this was like going back to like maybe the beginning of the summer. They are a huge name for Corda, especially for trade finance. And you do see like launched in Q3 of 2020, founded by Bangkok Bank, BNP Paribas, CTBC, Citi, ING, HSBC, SCB, and also even Standard Chartered. Brings together 15 global trade banks. Yeah, they are a huge name. And there's so many more here as well. I think that, again, QNT working with Xinfin, again, I know that just saying adding, XDC support. In my opinion, I do believe that at the end of the day, we really kind of know what that means. I do think that Quant is going to interconnect everything and have a fully diversified portfolio under its belt to not only disrupt just trade finance, cross-border payments, everything, but anything in crypto that crypto technology could do better than the legacy market, Quant is going to be playing a vital role within. And it does make me excited because, again, QNT, will be working with XDC on this most likely, especially after they did add that major support. To me, these two are extreme powerhouses around this market, and it's only getting started. The fun is only just beginning. There's so much more to this, and I'm very excited for the future of Xinfin. But also, I do want to share with you guys a little bit of an older, it's a very old article. It's kind of mentioning the fact that like Xinfin, is the first blockchain company to join the global TFD initiative. The reason why I bring this back up is I want to talk to you guys about a few quotes here. So first off, here is the Secretary General from the ICC United Kingdom, who's an observer on the TFDI. They said that trade finance is a compelling asset class for institutional investors. Making trade finance more accessible for non-bank investors is of paramount importance if we are going to drive the economic recovery from COVID and fill the $3 to $5 trillion SME trade finance gap. Innovative technology-driven solutions like the TFDI are a critical part of the solution to providing more liquidity into the market. Now, when we really kind of look at like the driven solutions, within the TFDI and liquidity, what does that make you think about? Because recently I just talked to you guys about Traded Token. Traded Token to me is a liquidity giant around trade finance. I do believe that it is going to allow for a lot more exposure to trade finance and fully kind of disrupt this entire market. I'm also very excited to see, where Xinfin or XDC is, give or take in, 3 to 5 years. Why? Because 3 to 5 years, I do believe that DLT is going to be at the forefront of almost every single industry. And by that point, I do believe that trillions on top of trillions of dollars will be fully tokenized. And I do believe that right now, as we really kind of look at this market, I think the emerging technology around the space is very exciting because, something like XDC is still extremely undervalued. It is extremely low. A lot of people have been looking at it and saying, oh, well, this is going to be just another worthless token. It's not going to be anything. But you got to remember that we still have not seen full-on utility take place in this market. We still haven't even seen, utility be spotlighted yet. So when we actually look at the utility around XDC, it is very compelling and it's very interesting when we are at this pivotal moment in time where, we're not even close to full-on adoption of digital technology. Crypto hasn't even, scratched the surface in regards to mass adoption. And I do think that going forward, we will have a ton of, growth and volume as well as value being pushed around crypto. And we actually do see down here, XDC Network, a network utility providing smart contract technology to produce cryptographic tokens, has been selected to join the TFDI by fintech veteran Andre Kasserman, whose impressive track record includes over 20 years at Swift, leading various technology innovations in interbank payments, corporate treasury, and also trade finance. And we do see down here, in welcoming the XDC network, Kasserman, who is also the chair of FinTech Committee at ITFA, said the TFDI provides the most comprehensive set of trade distribution capabilities. We welcome Xinfin's XDC network to TFDI as this enables us to bridge the US $19 trillion trade finance asset class with any type of funder through tokenization and digital assets. This means that as a bridge token, I know that we always kind of look at XRP and we say, all right, yeah, it's a bridge currency, whatever. Xinfin is what XRP is to the cross-border payment market for the trade finance market. This is what makes XDC such a lucrative option in this market, is being ahead of the digitization curve within trade finance. Trade finance is plagued with so many issues. This is why I say, pay attention to these utility gems while no one's really even looking at them, talking about them, caring about them. XDC still is extremely overlooked. Barely anyone talks about it. But you could see all of the major connections. You could see what is happening. Trade finance needs Xinfin. XDC is needed. And I do believe that Qnt with XDC are going to be giants in this space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, after you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.